मेरे सारे ऑफिसर्स मुझे अन्ना अन्ना बुलाते थे। तो अन्ना मतलब ही वाज स्टैंडिंग देयर इन फ्रंट ऑफ मी एंड ही सेज कि अन्ना तू डरना नहीं, मैं आ गया हूँ। And that when I sensed it was Captain Vikram Batra standing in front of me.
Yes.
And when I saw him, when I saw him speaking to me and looking at me, firing towards me, then I realized कि मतलब I am not dead, I am alive. मतलब I realized कि मुझे मैं जिंदा हूँ.
So, sir, when you were in the war front, what was the feeling like? What goes in our mind when there is a war ahead? We can only see in the movies, but we want to know your experience about that. एंड ऑल्सो सर, जैसा कि हम जानते हैं आपने विक्रम बत्रा सर के साथ मिलकर कारगिल की युद्ध लड़ी, तो प्लीज टेल अस अबाउट द बैटल ऑफ द बत्रा टॉप टू.
Okay, before going to Batra Top, as I discussed earlier, my unit, Jack Rave 13 Jack, launched 2 attacks.
Yes, sir.
The first attack was on point 5140, and then the second attack was 4875, which ultimately that feature of 4875 came to be known as Batra Top. So the first attack of point 5140, you would be aware, but the benefit of the audience, when we talk about 5140, unless I tell people about the altitude, the
The
atmosphere out
topography of the
there,
area. Yes, sir.
people will generally think it's just a feature. 5140 is just a number,
No,
but
sir.
5140 is at an altitude of 5,140 meters above sea level. That is roughly translates to around 16,000 feet, which is somewhere close to the Himalayan base camp. So going there at an altitude of 16,000 with a gradient of the hill being around 50, 60, 70 degrees, and sub-zero temperatures with your load of around 25 to 30 kgs, we are carrying that load, and you can well imagine okay, matlab how difficult it would have been.
Yes, sir.
Fighting the battle itself is a task, but reaching there itself is another battle. First you will have to carry your load, you will have to take your arms and ammunitions, reach that spot, and that too by dodging the enemy, because the enemy is sitting on the top, fortified behind the boulders, behind the sangars and bunkers, but you are in the open. We all heard about this saying called swimming against the tide. You are not
Yes.
swimming against the tide, you are actually walking, running against the bullets, dodging the bullets, and trying to reach a place where you can fire upon the enemy. So 0.5140 kaisa hua tha? It was led by Captain Vikram Batra and Sanjeev Singh Jamwal. So 18th/19th June ko this attack they started on 5140. तो टू कट द स्टोरी शॉर्ट, मतलब बहुत डिटेल में बताने का शायद स्कोप
Yes,
नहीं
sir.
है। 5140 पे उन्होंने जब अटैक किया था, जम्वाल सर को एक टास्क मिला था एंड विक्की सर को एक विक्रम बत्रा सर को एक टास्क मिला था कि मतलब व्हाट आर रेस्पेक्टिव फीचर्स दे हैड टू कैप्चर, व्हिच एक्सेस दे हैड टू टेक, एंड देन अल्टीमेटली टू लॉन्च द फाइनल अटैक एंड कैच द एंड कैप्चर द रेस्पेक्टिव बंकर्स। एंड जब ये लड़ाई शुरू हुआ था, there was some amount of fire power which was being fired upon them, in the sense कि मतलब आर्टिलरी डायरेक्ट रोल का फायरिंग पहले हमने काफी पल्वराइज किया था कि वो वहां पे करके then these people had launched an attack. And just imagine in a nutshell what I'm trying to tell is कि हम लोग सारे नीचे बैठे हुए हैं विद अ रेडियो सेट, वेटिंग फॉर सम इंफॉर्मेशन टू कम। काफी देर हो गया, देयर वाज नथिंग, मतलब नो कम्युनिकेशन, रेडियो साइलेंस वाज बीइंग मेंटेन्ड। एंड देन देयर वाज अ पॉइंट इन टाइम वी स्टार्टेड वरिंग कि मतलब भाई क्या हो रहा है, कि कुछ मैसेज नहीं आ रहा, कुछ सब कुछ ठीक चल रहा है नहीं चल रहा। And then sometime later, the first message is conveyed. Oh yeah, yeah. No, oh yeah, yeah was a success signal of Jamal sir. And when that message came, half of our tension was relieved. But at the same time, everybody there was worried कि भाई विकी सर का कोई मतलब he was a very impulsive person, as I told you, he was very
Yes, sir.
impulsive। मतलब वो कुछ काम करना है तो मतलब he will not दाएं बाएं नहीं सोचेगा, मतलब he wants the task to be done, तो he was that kind of a person। So everybody is worried कि मतलब उनके तरफ से कोई मैसेज क्यों नहीं आ रहा। एंड द फर्स्ट मैसेज आने के बाद अराउंड 45 मिनट्स के बाद द नेक्स्ट message was ये दिल मांगे मोर। And you
Yes, sir.
can well imagine the amount of happiness which it got generated was sunte hi, ye dil mange more। Let me tell you, in circumstances like a war, when you are climbing a hill, when you are launching an attack on an enemy which is sitting behind boulders, which is fortified and sitting behind boulders, and you are in the open, still launch the attack. Where you're going for the attack, you are aware, मतलब आपको पता रहता है कि मतलब वहां पे जिंदा वापस आना, एक पीस में वापस आना मुश्किल है, बट स्टिल यू लॉन्च एन अटैक. यू नेवर नो विच स्टेप इज गोइंग टू बी अ लास्ट स्टेप. मतलब आपने पैर रखा, माइन फट सकता है, या यो बोल्डर से थोड़ा सा बाहर है, शेल कैन लैंड देयर, यू कैन बी ब्लोन अपार्ट, यू कैन बी टोन इनटू पीसेस. Such in those circumstances, fighting the enemy at that altitude, winning the battle, and saying ye dil mange more, that has to be Captain Vikram Batra. एंड इट वाज नॉट जस्ट स्लोगनरिंग की, मतलब एक स्लोगन था उन्होंने कह दिया, ऐसा नहीं है. वो फीचर हम जीतने के बाद जब नीचे व्हेन वी केम डाउन व्हेन अ टेंट, व्हेन बरकादर टुक दैट इंटरव्यू, he that recording is available on YouTube. The
Yes, sir.
recording of 99 is available in YouTube, in which he says कि मतलब my chaps wanted more bunker should have been there, my chaps wanted more territory should have been there, we wanted more territory to occupy. Actually what I mean to say is, ye dil mange more was just not a slogan. He wanted more, he wanted to achieve more, he wanted to capture more. Probably अब मैं उसको अगर शायद इंडियन आर्मी अगर परमिशन दे देता उसके, मतलब if he had his means, if he had his call, he would have crossed yellow sea, and he would have done something out there also. He was that kind of a person, a fantastic officer. So that was the first battle what we won. And then after that, there was next attack, which was the next task which was given to us was point 4875. 4875 was a task which was to be led by myself, Major Gurpreet Singh, as a part of Charlie company. We were one part of it, and Major Bhaskar was in the other company, and the respective tasks were given to us to launch the attacks. And we all talk about the battles being fought. Firefight is on, somebody gets shot, somebody gets injured, somebody makes a supreme sacrifice, people win, people die, all that is spoken about. But what we don't touch upon is the mentality of a soldier, what goes through the mentality of a soldier, what he thinks, how he acts, what are the things we perform before going to the battlefield. 4th July was the D-Day for the attack on 4875. We had to launch an attack on 4th of July on point 4875. So I had lunch with my men. 4th July को हम सब lunch कर रहे थे. Myself, Major Gurpreet Singh was at a distance. We were trying to motivate our men. We were trying to discuss the work upon the strategy कि how we are going to fight. Rescue कैसे होगा, attack कैसे होगा, covering fire कौन देगा, मीडियम मशीन गन, लाइट मशीन गन कहाँ पे डिप्लॉय होगा, रॉकेट लॉन्चर कौन फायर करेगा. All this stuff were being discussed. At the same time, जब अंधेरा हो रहा था, उस टाइम पे हमने रात अंधेरा होती है, हमने अटैक को लॉन्च करना है. इधर
Yes, sir.
पंडित जी रहता है, पंडित जी हवन कंडक्ट करता है, हवन कंडक्ट हुआ, एंड हवन के बाद पंडित जी केम, ही अप्लाइड तिलक ऑन माय फोरहेड, ऑन माय वेपन एज वेल, एंड ही टोल्ड मी वन थिंग, साहब हिम्मत नहीं हारना, आपको बहुत आगे जाना है. सो द मोमेंट ही सेड दिस, इट डिडंट स्ट्राइक मी कि मतलब ये क्यों बोल रहा है, कि मतलब ऐसे क्यों बोला, व्हाट इज द कॉन्सिक्वेंस. मैंने सोचा कि मतलब ऐसे ही बता दिया होगा, इज वर्ड्स ऑफ विजडम जैसे बता दिया होगा. मैंने कहा, आई टुक इट इन द राइट स्पिरिट, एंड देन ही वेंट अहेड. बाकी सबसे मिल रहा था. बिफोर गोइंग टू अटैक, वी जनरली मीट ऑल द ऑफिसर्स. सारे ऑफिसर्स खड़े हुए वहां पे, एंड वी आर गोइंग फॉर द अटैक. बिफोर गोइंग फॉर द अटैक, वी मीट ईच एंड एवरी ऑफिसर. जो सर खड़े हुए थे, commanding officer Colonel Joshi was standing there. I went to him, and then he gave me a firm handshake, tap on my back, and he said, "Ki Naveen, you take care of your men. Men will take care of you." Then also I didn't realize कि मतलब ऐसा, मतलब what is the consequence, क्यों बता रहे कि. तो मैंने कहा ठीक है. I took in the stride and kept meeting all other officers. Captain Vikram Batra was standing in the line. विकी सर से जब मैं मिलने जा रहा था, then I realized कि मतलब he is going to pump me up, he is going to give me some जोश talk, he is going to give me those moral some this thing, ना जोश भरा कुछ सुनाएंगे, because
Yes, sir.
ये दिल मांगे more was already there. Barkader had taken the interview, that had been flashed in the TVs. He had the 5140 के बाद जितने weapons capture हुए थे उसके साथ उसका photograph था, पेपर वगैरह में आ गया था. तो he was already sort of he was in the news already.
Yes,
So
sir.
before, when I went to him, he also gave me a tight hug, and he told me, "गले लगना यार, न जाने कौन सी मुलाकात आखिरी होगी." When he said that, that is the time I realized, yes, I also may not come back from the battlefield. Here I am till now trying to motivate my men, trying to engage them into conversation, pump them up, not realizing my life is also at stake. I'm also I'm also putting myself to danger. I was not just realizing that. The moment Vicky sir told me this, then I realized, by yes, your life is also at stake. You're also going to get into the battlefield. Uh, Cutting all that story short, अंधेरा जैसे हो रहा था, वी चेक्ड अप ऑल आवर वेपन्स, मतलब हमने पूरा वेपन एक बार कॉक करके अनकॉक करके सेफ्टी के लैक खोल के देखा, मैगजीन्स एक्स्ट्रा मैगजीन्स है या नहीं है, एक्स्ट्रा ग्रेनेड्स है या नहीं है, ऑल दैट एमिनेशन चेकिंग स्टफ वाज चेक्ड वंस. एंड एंड जैक्रिफ का वॉर क्राई था दुर्गे माता की जय.
Yes, sir.
And once that Durga Mata ki Jai was called, Jaideep, let me tell you, I don't know what magic is in that war cry. जब आप दुर्गे माता की जय बोलते हो, when you pump your fists in the air and call दुर्गे माता की जय, it is an electrifying atmosphere. 120 people standing behind you and in unison calling दुर्गे माता की जय. I tell you, मतलब people get really, really charged up. 4th जुलाई 1999 अंधेरा होते ही हमने 4875 पे अटैक लॉन्च किया. एंड मतलब बहुत लंबा कहानी हो जाएगा अगर मैं बताना चाहूंगा, तो लेट्स कट द स्टोरी एवरीथिंग शॉर्ट. 4th जुलाई को हमने अटैक लॉन्च किया. 4th नाइट वी केप्ट ऑन फाइटिंग. 5th डे 5th नाइट वी केप्ट ऑन फाइटिंग. 6th आफ्टरनून तक वी केप्ट ऑन फाइटिंग. 6th इवनिंग 7th अर्ली मॉर्निंग तक हम उस जगह पे पहुंच गए थे जहां पे मतलब काफी सारा टेरिटरी ऑक्यूपाई कर लिया था. देयर वाज हार्डली एनीथिंग ऑफ दैट the post which was left. It was just a matter of time we would have cleared that as well. Now imagine 4th afternoon was the last meal we had, and in between कुछ लोगों को मील मिला, कुछ मतलब there was, it was very difficult because it's a huge feature. It has, your people are scattered, you are at one bunker, and as an officer we had to lead from the front. मतलब मुझे खाने के बारे में बिल्कुल चिंता नहीं था. 3 दिन हो गया था, मतलब आई वाज नॉट इवन अवेयर कि मतलब मुझे यहां तक हुआ है कि मतलब व्हेन यू फील हंग्री, व्हेन यू डोंट सी एनीथिंग इनसाइड, जो आइस पड़ा रहता था, वी यूज्ड टू पुट इट इन आवर माउथ जस्ट टू गेट अ फील कि हाँ भाई हमने कुछ खाया, मतलब समथिंग हैज गॉन इनटू आवर स्टमक. 7th early morning, what happens is the enemy lobs a grenade into the bunker which was guarding. The grenade falls right in front of my feet.
Yes, sir.
And मतलब आई कुडंट हैव गॉट अप, आई कुडंट, अगर मैं दौड़ना भी जाऊंगा चाहूंगा तो बंदे ऊपर बैठे हुए, दे नो दे लॉब्ड अ ग्रेनेड, दे आर वेटिंग फॉर कुछ हरकत होगा तो मतलब शॉट लेंगे. सो आई कुडंट डू दैट. इट वाज एन एल शेप बंकर. आई एम सिटिंग ऑन वन साइड, टू ऑफ माय मेन आर सिटिंग ऑन द अदर साइड. तो मतलब मुझे आसान था कि मतलब किक द ग्रेनेड मतलब टुवर्ड्स दैट साइड. बट अगर मैं उसको ग्रेनेड को किक करूंगा, इट विल गो टुवर्ड्स माय ओन मेन. हाउ कैन आई किक माय ओन ग्रेनेड टुवर्ड्स माय ओन मेन? माय कॉन्शियस डिड नॉट परमिट. In that bargain, the grenade took off. And then I tell you, Jaideep, for the next 15 seconds, I was not aware whether I'm dead, whether I'm alive. कि मतलब, इतना सारा sound हुआ था, इतना सारा, there was dust all over, the bunker had collapsed, there was ringing sound in my ears. I could not make out whether I'm dead or alive. Because grenade बिल्कुल fast में पटा था. And 15 seconds later, all I could sense was कि मतलब the enemy had launched a counter attack, they are running towards me. And by then, I see one of my our soldier running towards my post, firing towards the enemy. He comes there, stand in front of that collapsed bunker, where I could see the dust had just settled down. And my full name is Naveen Nagappa. Okay,
Yes, sir.
Naveen Nagappa. तो अनाबेरू का my unit, मेरे सारे ऑफिसर्स मुझे अन्ना अन्ना बुलाते थे. तो अन्ना मतलब he was standing there in front of me and he says कि अन्ना तू डरना नहीं, मैं आ गया हूँ. And that when I sensed it was Captain Vikram Batra standing in front of me.
Yes, sir.
And when I saw him, when I saw him speaking to me and looking at me, firing towards the enemy, then I realized कि मतलब I am not dead, I am alive. I realized कि मैं जिंदा हूँ. तो मुझे पता नहीं कहाँ से वो इतना जोश आया. लेफ्ट साइड में फटने के बाद AK-47 दूर पड़ा हुआ था. I picked up that AK-47, started firing towards the enemy. And by then my men also realized कि नवीन साहब को चोट लगी. They also firing started towards the enemy. Somehow we managed to stall the counter attack. एंड देन दोनों पैर में चोट लगा है, इतना चोट लगा था, इतना पास में ग्रेनेड फटा था कि आई कुडंट गेट अप, आई कुडंट वॉक, आई कुडंट रन. That is the time Captain Vikram Batra drags me out of the bunker, holds my hand and drags me out of the bunker. He drags me good about 10 to 15 meters. And then he is telling me कि you go and get yourself treated. I don't know, have you seen this movie Shersha?
Yes, sir. I've seen the movie.
Okay, in the Shersha, this scene has been captured. I get injured, he rescues me. and he
Yes,
takes
sir.
me down, and he is telling कि नवीन तू जाके नीचे ट्रीटमेंट ले ले तो आई एम ट्राइंग टू टेल हिम कि सर मुझे नीचे मत भेजो, डोंट सेंड मी डाउन, आई वांट टू फाइट सर, आई वांट टू फाइट.
Yes, sir.
you know the fact
More
that
fight scenes, sir, that I remember from the movie.
yeah, yeah,
Amidst the battle going on, guns firing on, and still, sir, the courageous conversation between two of you was just
it
amazing,
was
sir.
it was all probably, yeah, yeah, it was, circumstances, that's why they call, extraordinary circumstances brings out the extraordinary in you. you
Yes,
know
sir.
uh, for now sitting here I feel it's not humanly possible getting both the legs injured and then still wanting to fight. Now it doesn't make sense, but yes, then it made sense because we were in the midst of a battle, because we were losing men, men were getting injured, men were getting shot. So as I told, extraordinary circumstances demands extraordinary acts of bravery. Then
Yes,
sitting there, I didn't want to come down because I wanted to be there along with my men. I wanted to see there. I wanted to be there and see that, point 4875 has been captured. But he persisted that you have to go down, you have to get yourself treated. Then I crawled down for 150 meters, and then I was picked up on a shoulder. They bring me down to a certain distance, then they put me on a stretcher, and then they bring me down. Imagine getting hurt early in the morning, and by the time they brought me down, it was late in the evening. And by then, the doctor was also shocked when the first doctor saw me. He said, it's a miracle that you have survived. We are placing you under dangerously ill list. So the next possible opportunity, you will be flown to Udhampur, where your further treatment will happen. They put me on a sedative. I went out to sleep, not realizing what's happening in the battlefield. तो नेक्स्ट डे सुबह हेलीकॉप्टर वेट कर रहा था, मुझे हेलीकॉप्टर में लोड किया गया. नर्सिंग असिस्टेंट वाज देयर विथ मी. द हेलीकॉप्टर टेक्स ऑफ, मूव टू अ सर्टेन डिस्टेंस, थोड़ा सा आगे आगे गया हुआ था. तब नर्सिंग असिस्टेंट जो मेरे साथ में बैठा होता, वो कान में जोर से चिल्ला रहा था कि साहब, डॉक्टर ने उठने से मना किया हुआ है, बट वो देखिए .4875 पे तिरंगा लहरा रहा है. So, sitting in the helicopter at that altitude, watching 4875 with the tricolor being hoisted on 4875, it is a surreal experience. Experience was out of the world. That is
tremendous.
the time I told myself, Naveen, you may die in this because there's too much of blood loss. Treatment is far away. Infection had spread in my legs. I don't know whether I would, because I was already placed in dangerously ill list. So anything could have happened. So I was telling myself, whether you live, whether you die, it's of no consequence. The fact that the mission has been accomplished. So even if you die, whenever Kargil War will be spoken about, whenever 4875 will be spoken about, Captain Naveen Nagappa will also be spoken about. With that intention, I saluted the national flag, lied down, and when I was about to lie down, the nursing assistant again told me that साहब इसके लिए हमने कीमत चुकाई है. We had to pay a heavy price for this. मैंने कहा उस्ताद हमने क्या कीमत चुकाई है? He said साहब कैप्टन विक्रम बत्रा नहीं रहे. That was something I could not take. It was something for me beyond my capacity to bear that words. I was in a semi-unconscious state. Straight away, fell down unconscious. The next I woke up was in Srinagar hospital, Udhampur hospital. 2 दिन वहां पे रहा. ट्रीटमेंट कुछ ज्यादा हो नहीं पाया because it didn't have a specialist out there. So they flew me to base hospital Delhi, and yeah, that's how 21 months in hospital and 8 major surgeries, and finally they decided that I had to be medically discharged from the defense forces, and then yes, I was out of army from them. And as I told, your question was about 4875. Mighty glad that we won 4875, but with a heavy price, of course. And very glad that that feature has been named after that legend, and it'll remain for eternity that that feature will be called as Batra Top.
Yes, I could just feel the gravity of your words. It is just because of acts of you brave men, sir, that the people, 140 crore Indians, have so much faith in the Indian army, sir. I literally, sir, lost in your words, sir. I couldn't even express it in words, sir. What's the feeling right now? Great, sir. And sir, now I have to ask you, how did you recover from your severe injury? जिसे आज हराकर आप हमारे सामने बैठे हैं. And also, please tell us about some aftermaths of the war, of Kargil War.
Okay, two things I would like to tell you. One is 21 months in hospital, 8 major surgeries. When I went to artificial limb center as well. There is sort of amputation in the left leg. The right leg is pretty bad. It was in a pretty bad shape. It has deformity, partial paralysis, shortening of the leg. Everything had happened. Went to ELC, got my braces, my both my shoes, what we call as braces, rather shoes, for everybody to understand, they were up to the knees. The entire weight, body weight had to transferred, cannot be transferred below the knees, because below the knee it was badly injured. So the load was to come onto the knees and then get transferred to the shoes. So that braces was up to the knees. तो नी के नीचे कोई जोर नहीं पड़ रहा था, बिकॉज वो पूरा ट्रांसफर हो रहा था शू पे. इतने बुरे हाल में था. एंड आई वाज ऑन क्रचेस व्हेन द डॉक्टर्स डिसाइडेड कि आई एम अनफिट टू सर्व इन द डिफेंस फोर्सेस. आई हैड टू क्विट. आई स्टिल रिमेंबर doctor then had come to drop me to the airport in Delhi, and his last words were कि मतलब you will not be able to walk without support for the rest of your life. He told me that I went inside the airport, he went away, I boarded the flight, came down to Bangalore. Bangalore se my brother had come to pick me up. We drove to Hubli, my hometown, which is around 450 kilometers from Bangalore. To all towards matlab in this all this journey, I was wondering only one thing. I wanted only one thing, because I was pretty young then. There was a lot of things to look up to, and then I was thinking ki matlab I wanted to be, the only thing I wanted then was, the only thing which I wanted was to be independent. I didn't want to depend on anybody, neither on crutches, neither on braces, nor dependent on anybody. I wanted to be independent, do everything on my own. You won't believe, I put myself through a lot of grind. Rigorous physiotherapy I carried out. हाफ एन आवर, अगर आधा घंटा मैं फिजियोथेरेपी करता था तो रात को नींद नहीं आता था, इतना दर्द होता था. बट आई डिडंट गिव अप. आई kept on, I मतलब I put myself through a lot of grind. I persisted. I kept on doing physiotherapy, yoga and whatnot. And finally a day came when I gave up one crutch, one brace, second brace, and finally this thing also, the second crutch also. So yes, God has been kind to me in that fashion, that whatever I wanted to join the defense forces. I got that opportunity. I wanted to somehow participate, be in the midst of action. I got that opportunity as well. Survived a grenade blast, came back, and of course, 21 months in hospital was tough. Let me tell you, it was pathetic. There were times when I felt, God, why me? I started cursing God. God, why me? Why are you putting me through this? But ultimately I came out of that, hail and medically discharged, and then put myself through a lot of grind, but still made it to becoming independent. During all this, when I see all this, there are a lot of people who call me unfortunate. I mean, how unfortunate you are. You have put in 1 year of service, 1 year of training, but 6 months of service, and just after 6 months of service you have a grenade blast. You were in the hospital for 21 months, and then out of the defense forces, and then you are limping for the rest of your life. How unfortunate. But Jaideep, let me tell you, I consider myself the most fortunate person in this entire universe, because it was like, I was destined to get into the army. I was destined to fight the battle. I was destined to do my bit for this nation, whatever little bit I could do, come out of the defense forces. And within the short span, how many of us get this opportunity to fight for the nation? How many of you, I always believe, if not me, who? If not now, when? It's a small price to pay for this huge nation. Such a great nation. It's a small price to pay. A part of your leg is blown off. So what? Your right leg is, injured. It's maimed. It's deformity is there. Partial paralysis is there. Small price to pay for the nation. If not me, who? So no, I'm really grateful to God that I got this opportunity. That's how I look at my life. I had two options. To crib at it, I went into the army, got injured, and then I was thrown out of the army. That's one way of looking at it. The second way of looking at it, be magnanimous, enjoy life, have a ball of a time. Be grateful that you got an opportunity. Not many will get this opportunity. So I'm really grateful to God, and enjoying my life, having a good time.
So very fortunate are those who get an opportunity like that of yours to serve the country and bring so much glory, to our army, to our country, that we cannot ever forget. Sir. The whole nation will never be able to forget it. It's such a thing, sir.
Thank you. Absolutely.
सर, अब हम जानना चाहेंगे उस पल के बारे में जब आपको कारगिल युद्ध में अपने इस अदम्य साहस दिखाने के लिए आपको सेना मेडल से नवाजा गया. वो मोमेंट कैसा था आपके लिए? how did you feel at that moment? What thoughts did cross your mind?
ओके जयदीप, मैं मेरा नजरिया कुछ अलग ही है इसके देखने के बारे में। तो
Yes, sir.
मुझे ये लगता है कि पहला चीज कि सेना मेडल वाज जस्ट अ बाई प्रोडक्ट। I did whatever I had to do, whatever I could do, whatever was possible in my hands, I did that. Sena medal was just a byproduct. Now let me tell you कि 527 soldiers have sacrificed their life in Kargil war. How many do we remember? It is just that few martyrs we remember, few people who have been honored with the greater awards we remember. It is not that the balance of them went to fight the battle, or went to commit suicide there. Everybody fought to the best of their abilities. In the bargain, I never say they lost their lives, because you don't lose a life. You lose a purse, you lose a wallet, you lose a mobile, you lose article, you lose, but you don't lose a life.
Yes.
Life you give up willingly for this nation fighting the enemy. 527 soldiers sacrificed their life. How many of them have got awards, or how many of them do we remember? Not negating any sacrifice, not negating any people who have been awarded, but my contention or my sole ambition now is, you will be surprised to know, after came out of army, I again worked in a central government job, joined as assistant executive engineer, rose up to the rank of superintendent engineer. In the span of 20 years, I rose up to the superintendent engineer, and superintendent engineer is a big thing in the defense force, in the government sector. I
Yes.
could have easily become a chief minister, chief engineer, with whatever service I had left with, but I resigned that job. And now I feel, I resigned that job because I think I did enough. My contention or my aim now is, I feel ki 500, as I told, 527 soldiers sacrificed their lives. I could have easily been the 528th person, because grenade blasted right in front of my feet. I believe that God has saved me with a purpose, and the purpose is to tell the stories of those unsung heroes, to tell the stories of those martyrs who have still not been recognized by the people. I want to bring out their stories. With this sole intention, I've resigned that job. It's just about 3-4 months back. I've left my job, and yes, my sole aim or my purpose in life now is to bring the stories of those unsung heroes. So I
Yes.
consider the medal and all, I really don't give too much of weightage for it. Fact that we got an opportunity to do something for the nation, that itself is the highest recognition. And to sum it up, when I was in those circumstances, when I had got injured, when I had seen death at a very close quarter, and when I was injured, not knowing whether I live or die, then you feel कि मतलब your ego, your reputation, your money, your wealth, your status, what all medals you have won, everything doesn't hold any value. It's a tunnel vision. It's a tunnel vision. मतलब you get to see nothing. I've seen at such a young age. I've seen so much of pain, so much of deaths. I lived a life which I wish upon no one. आई डोंट, मैं दुश्मन को भी ये नहीं चाहूंगा कि उसको इससे गुजरना पड़े. बट गिवन एन अपॉर्चुनिटी, I would love to live this life again the way I have lived my life. There is absolutely no regrets, because I believe, वो बोलते हैं ना कि God gives the hardest of the battle to the strongest of the soldiers.
Yes, sir.
Probably God chose me as a via media to see how strong I am, or he knew I was strong, so he put me through this. So I'm glad with whatever I have done. I'm glad with people who come and approach me. बहुत सी जगह पे ऐसे हुआ है, मैं रास्ते पे जा रहा हूँ, मेरे से बुजुर्ग लोग आते हैं, मेरे बारे में जिसको जानते हैं, वो मेरा पैर छूने की कोशिश करते हैं. दैट इज द मेडल फॉर मी. लोग जब मेरा कोई इवेंट में जाता हूँ, लोग मुझे मेरा आरती उतारते हैं. दैट इज द मेडल फॉर मी. So very happy and contented person I am. Hope it answers your question. I don't know whether I made some sense or not,
Yes,
but
sir.
it was just the pouring out of emotions.
Yes, sir. I understand it, sir. The nation is very proud at you, sir. A man like
Thank
you
you.
is a great pride to the nation, sir. So,
God has
sir,
been kind.
yes, sir. Coming to this end of the great podcast, I will say, not just a podcast, a great podcast, sir. what is the one piece of advice that you would like to give it to the youth of India? The people who will like to join the defense forces, जो लोग हमसे अभी जुड़े हैं, जो आगे हमसे जुड़ेंगे, उन्हें आप क्या संदेश देना चाहेंगे अपनी ओर से?
ओके, आपके दो चीजें पूछा कि मतलब व्हाट डिफेंस एस्पिरेंट्स के लिए क्या मैसेज है और अदर सिटीजन्स के लिए क्या मैसेज है। ओके, डिफेंस एस्पिरेंट्स के लिए मुझे यही कहना है, मुझे भी काफी लोग अप्रोच करते हैं कि मतलब एसएसबी इंटरव्यू कैसे अटेंड करना है, हाउ डू वी परफॉर्म, मतलब व्हाट आर द आंसर्स टू बी गिवन, ऑल दैट सिस्टम इज देयर लॉट ऑफ पीपल अप्रोच मी. I keep guiding in whatever little capacity I have, because I got selected way back, 25 26 years back is what I attended my SSB interview. uh, मुझे ये बस इतना ही कहना है, डिफेंस एस्पिरेंट को बी योरसेल्फ, मतलब वहां पे अगर आप जाके डोंट ट्राई टू कप स्टोरीज, डोंट ट्राई टू प्रोजेक्ट योरसेल्फ द पर्सन यू आर नॉट. You project the person you are in whatever fashion you are. Don't try to hide your faults, or don't try to over project your achievements. Go with a clean slate. And
Yes.
जो आप क्वेश्चन पूछता है जो आपको उसी का जवाब दो, फर्स्टली. एंड सेकेंडली, इट इज नॉट दैट कि अगर आप आर्मी में सेलेक्ट नहीं होते, डिफेंस सर्विस में सेलेक्ट नहीं होते हो, इट्स नॉट दैट यू आर गुड फॉर नथिंग. इट इज नॉट सो. It is just that you don't fit in that bill. You are not suitable for the defense forces. You might be extraordinarily good at something else, but you don't fit that criteria wherein the army is looking for. So don't get disheartened. That's not the end of life. It is not that you have to serve the nation only by wearing the uniform, only by donning the uniform. There are thousand other ways to serve the nation. Be a good citizen. That itself is good enough to serve the nation. Now coming to other people. So let me tell you, had, as I told you, a lot of pain I had undergone in the hospital during my evacuation, lot of pain. And 21 months later, when I, after the hospitalization, when I came out, what I saw in the society, things going bad, things going wrong, you can't stand it, you can't say it. I used to feel bad कि मतलब इसके लिए हमने इतना पेन लिया क्या? Did we sacrifice our limbs for such people? I got hurt on 7th July 99. Captain Vikram Batra's martyrdom was also on the same day, 7th July 99.
Yes, sir.
20 years later, that is on 7th July 2019, we were all, our unit officers, Jackrif officers, were taken on a helicopter and we were dropped on 4875. 4875 पे हम 20 साल बाद 7 July 2019, the same date, 20 years back, when I had got, when the place where I got injured, same day, same date, and Captain Vikram Batra's martyrdom, 4875 पे हमें उतारा गया 7 July 2019 को. And at that 16,000 feet, when I saw the tricolor fluttering so high, majestically high, and then standing there beneath that national flag, knowing that you have also a small tributary, small contribution in that, and salute to the national flag, I felt I lived my life. There is nothing to look forward to. मुझे कुछ आगे जिंदगी में नहीं चाहिए था, कुछ भी नहीं चाहिए था मुझे. The message I would like to convey is to the youngsters, to the youth of this nation is, keep your aim ambition so high. इतना ऊंचा आपका एम्बिशन रखो कि मतलब आपके लिए उसको बहुत स्ट्रगल करना पड़ेगा, पहला चीज. एंड जब आप स्ट्रगल करके उस चीज को अचीव कर पाओगे, कुछ हासिल कर पाओगे, तब आपको लगना चाहिए कि भाई, आई हैव अचीव्ड व्हाटएवर आई वांटेड टू अचीव इन माय लाइफ एंड देयर इज नथिंग टू लुक फॉरवर्ड टू. दैट इज द काइंड ऑफ लाइफ आई वांट यू पीपल टू लीड.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for everything, sir, for your time, for giving of your account of events, sir, like no one could have imagined, sir. It's a great thing to have you here, sir, at the Josh God, at our platform, and hope the viewers get to know you, know about the war and about the unsung heroes that you talked about. Thank you, sir. Thank you for everything, sir.
Thank
It
you,
was
Jaydeep. Thank you. As the name suggests, the Josh Squad, keep up the Josh high, motivate youngsters. Now we could carry the nation this forward.
yes,
We
sir.
have got it till here. We have done already our best, and we are into, we have crossed that age where you can really actively contribute something, then we are handing over the baton to you people. Now it's for you people to take the nation ahead. And Joe Squad has been doing a wonderful job. Wishing you all the very best. Let many people join this initiative, and more people get inspired, more people join, more people know about the sacrifices, more people don the uniform. The more the merrier.
Thank you
All
so
the
much.
very best. All the
Sir,
very
it was
best. Good
my pleasure
job.
to host you, sir. It was my pleasure, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Jaydeep. Thanks a ton. Bye bye. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind, sir. So thank you guys for staying in the video till the end. I hope you all enjoyed the podcast. Once again, thanks for your time and keep watching Josh Scott as it's one of the best motivational, educational, and inspirational defense channel. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe the channel. और अगर फिर भी कुछ कमी रह गई हो हमारी तरफ से तो कमेंट सेक्शन आप ही के लिए तो है. We are open to your suggestions anytime. So this is Jed, ex-cadet Jedi host signing off. Jai Hind.